handicap parking. Never park in front of this door. Follow these tips and you'll never have parking problems or tickets again. This message is brought to you by West Liberty University.
Good afternoon, and welcome to this edition of Newsline 14. I'm Ian Phillips.
And I'm Joel Porter. Let's see what's happening in national news.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were interviewed by Oprah Winfrey in a televised special for the first time since stepping down from their duties as senior British royals in January 2020. During the interview, the Duke and Duchess discussed a variety of topics, many of which were shocking revelations for the public. One of the revelations brought to light discussed the royal family deciding not to make the couple's son, Archie, a prince. The pair also discussed their marriage, scrutiny they faced from the media, their estrangement from their royal family, and the falling move to the United States. Among these shocking revelations, one of the most impactful ones was that there was concerns and conversations about how dark the royal couple's son's skin might be. Who had this concern or these conversations with the pair was not revealed, but has sparked outrage throughout audiences.
In a landmark decision, the Mexican government made history by voting to legalize cannabis. Mexico's Chamber of Deputies voted 316 to 129 to legalize recreational use of cannabis 2 years after the Mexican Supreme Court ruled that the ban on recreational cannabis was unconstitutional. While the bill still has to make it through the Senate before reaching the president's desk, it is expected to pass given the support the president has signaled towards legalizing cannabis. Advocates for the bill believe that the legalization of cannabis in Mexico would help bring an end to the messy war on drugs, while the others say that the drug cartels that already exist in Mexico would not be affected by the legalization. If passed, this would make Mexico the third country in the Americas to legalize cannabis, behind Uruguay and Canada.
A Florida senator is urging citizens to reject the latest stimulus checks. Senator Rick Scott recently made a statement on the latest round of stimulus checks. By rejecting and returning any unneeded funds, as well as funds unrelated to COVID-19, you would be taking responsibility and action to avoid wasting scarce tax dollars. After all, every dollar in this package is borrowed. The former governor feels that this plan is simply common sense, and that the money for the state and local government is unrelated to responding to the pandemic. Senator Scott is known for rejecting federal funds in the past. As governor, he refused to accept Obamacare-related funds in order to expand Medicaid coverage. Meanwhile, Governor DeSantis feels as though the state needs more money and that this money should go toward his Resilient Florida plan, which is meant to fight flooding in the state. While Florida's politicians have conflicting ideas, the people of the state may not receive the benefits they had hoped for.
The Chinese government has breached every single article of the UN's Genocide Convention for its treatment of Uyghur Muslims in their Xinjiang province, according to the landmark new legal report. The 25,000-word report published by a nonpartisan U.S.-based think tank claims that China is responsible for committing genocide. The report is the first independent, non-governmental investigation into China's treatment of Uyghurs under the 1948 Genocide Convention. While China has repeated denying any claims of wrongdoing, a growing body of evidence has found that to be false. As the body of evidence has grown, so has international outrage. The U.S. administration has already declared that China's treatment of Uyghurs to be a genocide. The landmark report was created with the help of dozens of experts on international law, genocide studies, Chinese ethnic policies, and China.
The first anti-trans bill, known as the Mississippi Fairness Act, has been signed into law in Mississippi. The bill signed by the state governor, Tate Reeves, focuses on a transgender ban in school sports. This bill requires that schools assign teams based on one sex given at birth. The law is set to protect young girls from being forced to compete with biological males for athletic opportunities, as tweeted by Reeves. This bill came into being as Senator Angela Hill stated that numerous coaches had approached her feeling as though such a policy was needed. Despite this, no supporters of the bill showed any evidence in transgender athletes competing anywhere in Mississippi schools or universities. State residents have shown concern for a potential increase in bullying transgender children due to the passing of this bill. The bill is scheduled to go into effect on July 1st.
Derek Chauvin faces additional murder charge following last year's death of George Floyd. CNN states that Chauvin has already faced charges of second-degree unintentional murder and second-degree manslaughter, but is now also facing a third-degree murder charge following a Hennepin County judge decision last Thursday. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison comments on the additional charge and states, "The charge of third-degree murder, in addition to manslaughter and felony murder, reflects the gravity of the allegations against Mr. Chauvin. We look forward to presenting all three charges to the jury." Jury selection for Chauvin's upcoming trial began last Tuesday, and Chauvin has pleaded not guilty to all three charges. The trial is still in the process of jury selection, which can take about 3 weeks, and the entire trial will be live-streamed on Court TV.
We'll be right back after the break with campus news regarding students being offered the COVID-19 vaccine here on Newsline 14.
So hey, I know you told me not to get you anything, but I got you this gift right here. It's sugar. Thought you liked it.
You need to learn how to give better gifts.
Here's how you can become a better gift giver. Write a list and give it to people who may be giving you a gift. Make sure to wrap the gift with care and make it look nice. I hope everyone enjoys your gifts. Happy holidays.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. Let's have a look at the campus and local news for the week. It seems like we're all ready for this pandemic to clear up. As more people are able to get the vaccines, the question still remains if we will return to normal living after this. An email was sent out earlier this week letting students know we may be able to get the COVID vaccine on campus. As this is still up in the air right now, it is a potentially good opportunity for students. This form was sent out by Maureen Golick for students to sign up for the vaccine. This does not guarantee access to a vaccine. All respondents will be added to a list and will be notified if a dose becomes available. The survey consists of filling out your name and ID number. This could be a right step in getting back to our normal life.
West Liberty University has announced that they are planning an in-person graduation ceremony for 2021. WLU is planning on having 5 ceremonies to accommodate all social distancing and to honor all graduates. 2020 graduates are also asked to fill out a form if they would like to participate. This is to let the graduates who could not walk due to COVID-19 have a chance to participate and get the graduation they deserve. This form can be found on WLU Registrar's webpage. Due to ongoing safety precautions, graduates are permitted 2 guests each, and there will be no reception after. All ceremonies will include a student speaker. Tickets for guests can be picked up at by graduate students in the Enrollment Center. All ceremonies will take place in May. For more information, visit westliberty.edu.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to work in your future job field? On March 4th, students in the geography and planning career fields got that chance. The students were visited by Wheeling's Mayor, Glenn Elliott, along with Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Herb Falkenberry. Students in the seminar were provided with the opportunity to chat about community development and urban realization with Mayor Glenn Elliott. Mayor Elliott also shared his personal views on urban geographies, planning for the future of Wheeling, and skills that any future professionals in geography and planning would need. Alternatively, students from the Geographies of World Tourism course were able to sit down with Herb Falkenberry at Ogilvy Resort. Falkenberry shared his experiences in the evolving process of resorts marketing with students. If this sounds like an experience that you wish to have yourself, consider joining the Geography and Planning program.
you been spring cleaning and need to get rid of books you no longer need? Well, you're in luck. Every year, the Paul Elbin Library on West Liberty's main campus holds a spring cleanout event in which any and all book donations are accepted. This year, the event is being held throughout the month of March. The last day to donate is April 2nd. If you or someone you know would like to donate books as a part of the library's spring cleanout event, please make sure you drop off your donations at the reference desk in the Elbin Library, anytime, Monday through Friday, between 8 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon. In the past, the spring cleanout event has helped the library keep up with all the resources offered to West Liberty students. Some of the resources include computers and printers, available for student use, and a quiet place to study.
In Charlestown, West Virginia, the Youth Mental Health Protection Act has been introduced to the West Virginia House of Delegates on Wednesday, March 10th. The Youth Mental Health Protection Act is a proposal to remove a dangerous practice of conversion therapy. Many major medical associations advise against use of conversion therapy. West Virginia state medical institutions support the Youth Mental Health Protection Act. The bill, named House Bill 3033, has been referred to the House Health and Human Resources Committee. Its lead sponsor is Ohio Delegate Erica Storch. Another similar bill, Senate Bill 598, was introduced to the Senate earlier on. The bill was added to the upcoming committee agenda by legislative leaders. Executive Director of Fairness in West Virginia, Andrew Schneider, says conversion therapy is in fact medical malpractice. The bill is sponsored by 4 Republicans and 4 Democrats.
Wheeling historians say that the general public has seen a similar virus to COVID-19 with a different name. A year ago, 2 of Wheeling's historians looked into Wheeling's archives. The historians found an astonishing parallels to COVID-19. One historian recalled what they read: closing down borders, self-isolation, wearing masks. However, this was referring to the 1918 Spanish flu. Back then, health departments were bustling to find information. Advice was given, a parallel to what is seen on Facebook today. A remedy that was surprisingly not recommended in 1918 was hand washing. In 1918, hospital staff saw the flu spread quickly. A Wheeling native nurse, Alice Young, is documented as the only woman in the military to die from the flu during World War I. However, a vaccine was never produced for the Spanish flu. Today, there are vaccines available for COVID-19.
Let's hear it for the Wheeling Park High School speech and debate team. This past Saturday, the Wheeling Park speech and debate team showed up and shut out their opponent, winning their 41st consecutive state champion title. This year's competition had a slight virtual twist to it. Participants had to be separated, which made things a little difficult. However, Wheeling Park stood by the motto, adapt or you don't survive, to push through the virtual obstacle. In the end, the Wheeling Park speech and debate team was able to walk away with their 41st title with pride. Wheeling Park students, if you are interested, tryouts for next year's team begins next week. You will be practicing over the summer to prepare for the next tournament scheduled in October. After the commercial break, Thomas Curtin discusses the end of an impressive wrestling season for the Hilltoppers, as well as much more. We will be right back on Newsline 14.
Sources of stress are everywhere. Stress can make you feel trapped, but there are ways to manage it. Stress is inevitable, but you can learn how to deal with it, how to handle it, and how to respond to it well. Try to get enough sleep, exercise, eat well, get emotional support, breathe, and find ways to calm down.
Hey, whoa, hey, man, what are you doing? Hey, man, what are you doing? I don't think you're supposed to drive.
Nah, man, it's all good. My house is like 20 seconds up that street.
It doesn't matter. It's still not a good idea. I don't think you're fit to drive.
Dude, we've been friends for like 10 years, man. Can't you trust me?
That doesn't matter here. I do trust you, but I don't think you're fit to drive.
Well, then, just shut up. Shut up! I can totally drive myself a mile up to my house.
Fine, then. If that's what you want to do, so be it. What the?
Every day in America, another 28 people die as a result of drunk driving crashes. Don't be the next victim.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. Here's Thomas Curran with sports.
Wrestling in St. Louis, Missouri at the Division II National Tournament. The Hilltoppers had 4 All-Americans and finished 4th as a team. This was West Liberty's highest placement in the history of the program. 125-pounder Cole Leah and 133-pounder Tyler Warner both finished first, being crowned national champions. This makes Leah now a 2-time All-American and also makes Tyler Warner a 2-time national champion. 184-pounder Connor Craig finished runner-up, while 285-pounder Francisco Borsellino finished 7th. The team had many accomplishments this season, winning the MEC tournament, Super Regional tournament, and finishing 4th in the nation. This ends a historical season for West Liberty Wrestling. Congratulations to all the wrestlers who were awarded All-American status and to the whole team on their accomplishments this season. West Liberty University is hosting this year's Atlantic Regional Division II men's basketball tournament. With no surprise, the West Liberty men's basketball team took the court this weekend in hopes of pursuing the NCAA Division II championship. On Saturday, March 13th, the Hilltoppers faced Malone University, who were 17-7 on the season. At the end of the first half, West Liberty was up by just 1 point, leading 42-41. As the final buzzer sounded, the Hilltoppers were up by 5, defeating the Pioneers 94-89. On Sunday, the Hilltoppers faced off against University of Charleston. The Hilltoppers led the Golden Eagles 45-28 at half. The Hilltoppers would hold this lead and go on to win 82-63. This win advanced the Hilltoppers to the Sweet 16, where they took on Hillsdale College. The Toppers blast through Hillsdale in the regional final by a score of 78-61. The team will play in the NCAA Division II Elite 8 Championship in Evansville, Indiana, which takes place over the days of March 24th to the 27th. Good luck to Coach Howlett and the team. Bring home the trophy. West Liberty men's soccer team played in a tight matchup as they took on Wheeling University Cardinals last Friday at home. West Liberty found themselves trailing 1-0 in the early minutes of the match, but then junior Josh Yeeman found the back of the net in the 81st minute. The Toppers forced overtime against the Cardinals, which ended with West Liberty coming out on top. West Liberty found themselves with 1 chance left as they forced a corner kick. Yeeman found the back of the net once again as time was expiring. Freshman Victor Otsuka found himself making the kick, which found Yeeman. This ultimately led to the Toppers winning the night. West Liberty will be traveling to Davis and Elkins College this Friday to play in their 4th match of the season. The game will kick off at 5 p.m. The Lady Toppers soccer team took on their crosstown rivals last Friday as they played Wheeling University Cardinals. The Lady Toppers came out victorious on the day with the score of the game being West Liberty 2, Wheeling University 0. West Liberty junior Zane Brachial recorded her first assist of the season as she passed the ball to sophomore Millie Colbrand to put the Toppers up 1-0. The next goal was scored in the 85th minute as senior Kate Callasy sent a cross where the ball found freshman Lexi Mullen to finish out the match and put the Toppers up 2-0. The Lady Toppers will be on the road again as they are traveling to West Virginia State. The game will be played this upcoming Friday and will begin at 6 p.m. Moving off the hilltop, the Pittsburgh Penguins came up big this weekend. With the shortened season putting more emphasis on every game, the Penguins need to start stacking up the wins. The Penguins are on a 5-game winning streak. To start the week, the Penguins edged out the New York Rangers by a score of 4-2. Sidney Crosby led the way with a goal and an assist. On Thursday, the Penguins traveled to Buffalo to play the Sabres. The Penguins added another victory with a 5-2 win. Malkin was dynamic in the victory, tallying up a goal and an assist. On Saturday, the Penguins defeated the Sabres by a score of 3-0 to cap off a dominant week. The Penguins returned to Pittsburgh Monday and beat the Bruins 4-1. They then dropped a game at home against the Bruins last night with a score of 2-1. The Pens' next game is tomorrow in New Jersey against the Devils, with the puck dropping at 7 p.m. The Wheeling Nailers were on the ice for another busy weekend as they played 2 games at home and 1 on the road. On Friday and Saturday night, the Nailers took on the Fort Wayne Comets. Despite tying the game midway through the third period and going to overtime, former Nailer Brandon Hawkins netted the overtime winner for Fort Wayne. Saturday told much of the same story as the Nailers fell 3-2 in regulation to the Comets. The Nailers then hit the road as they traveled to face the Indy Fuel. Although the Nailers shut out the Fuel in their last meeting, 6-0, the Nailers fell by the final score of 3-1. The Nailers will be back in action this weekend at West Bank Arena as they see a new opponent, the Wichita Thunder. I am Thomas Curtin, and that's sports for Newsline 14.
Thank you, Thomas, for our sports update here on Newsline 14. We'll be right back with DeJuan Jones talking about campus weather coming up next.
Bells will be ringing, the glad, glad news. Oh, what a Christmas to have the blues. My baby's gone, I have no friend to wish me greeting once again. Choirs will be singing Silent Night, Christmas carol by candlelight. Please come home for Christmas. Please come home for Christmas.
Welcome to West Liberty University's Wellness Center, located in the Academic Sports and Recreation Complex building. Here you will find a safe and friendly atmosphere, clean equipment for all types of training, free weights, machines, and now introducing a new speaker system. Does school have you stressed out? Are you trying to get fit for those warmer days? The Wellness Center has you covered. We are now offering free personal training for West Liberty students. Start the year off the right way at West Liberty University's Wellness Center.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. Here's DeJuan Jones with the campus weather update and the weather across the United States.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. I'm DeJuan Jones with your weather update. The spring weather has finally hit the hilltop this week. However, the sun is shining all day long with a high of 66 degrees and a low of 50 degrees. It is currently 59 degrees on the hilltop with wind speeds of 8 miles per hour and 66% humidity. The clear skies will continue into the night with only a 10% chance of rain. There's a slight drop in wind at only 6 miles per hour, and the humidity will decrease to 60%. Looking at the map of the U.S., in the West Coast, the temperatures in California are sitting at a cool 64 degrees with no chance of rain. Over in Utah, the temperatures are looking quite low with a temperature of 52 degrees. Over in Missouri, the temperatures are sitting at 54 degrees with a high chance of rain. Moving on down to Texas, the weather is looking chilly with high winds as it sits at 64 degrees. As we move on over to Florida, they seem to be enjoying some nice weather with a temperature of 88 degrees. As we move up to West Virginia, we are enjoying the weather as it is 72 degrees. As we move up to north to New York, it seems they are sitting at a cool 52 degrees, and there's your look at campus and national weather.
We'll be right back here on Newsline 14 with the 5-day forecast coming up next.
Always check your candy for unwanted items. Tip number 2. Always watch for cars when trick-or-treating. Tip number 3. Never take a stranger up on his offer to come inside. Use these tips to stay safe this Halloween.
To Newsline 14, here's DeJuan Jones with a 5-day forecast.
Let's see how the weather will be this upcoming week. Tomorrow, the temperatures will be dropping to about 54 degrees, with the low being 30 degrees, with a high chance of rain. As we move on to Friday, you can expect the temperatures to get lower. The temperatures will be reaching a high of 45 with a low of 23. As we move into the night, Saturday, things will be looking up as the weather will be reaching a high of 54 degrees and the low being 28 degrees, with a 0% chance of rain. Sunday, the weather will be moving on up with the temperature of 61 degrees, but as we move into the night, the temperature will be hitting 31 degrees with no rain. Starting off our next week, we will be met with some warmer weather as the high is sitting at a temperature of 64 degrees with the low being 37 degrees. That will be the end of your 5-day forecast here at West Liberty. I'm DeJuan Jones, and that is your weather update.
Thank you, DeJuan, for our weather update. That will wrap up this edition of Newsline 14. I'm Ian Phillips.
And I'm Joe Porter. Have a great week.